Hi friends, my name is Narsimha and I'm pursuing my engineering in IRE college. Today, as a part of my AIT concept videos, in the subject of web application development, I want to explain about a topic named microdata in HTML5. So, first of all, in this lecture, we will know about what is microdata, use of it, global attributes, properties, data types, and application interface support for the microdata. So, first of all, what is microdata? Simply, I want to say in a sentence that is, I will live in India. So, in this sentence, I am specifying that the place of living of me. So, here, India is a country. So, in this sentence, I'm not specifying that India is a country. But when we add a micro data, that is, India is a name of a country, we can add this India in any other sentence which we need a country name. So, microdata is an information which we specify about the information which we are saying to the receivers or the listeners. So, microdata in HTML5 means in hypertext markup language, what is the use of microdata and what is the microdata? Microdata is a standardized way to provide additional semantics in your web pages. Microdata lets you define your own customized elements and start embedding custom properties in your web pages. At a high level, microdata consists of a group of name-value pairs. The groups are called items and each name-value pair is a property. Items and properties are represented by regular elements. For example, to create an item, the item scope attribute is used. Well, to add a property to an item, the item prop attribute is used one of the item's descendants. So, what is microdata in HTML5? Microdata is used for styling the web pages or to define our own customized elements to develop. For example, in coding, we'll use the user-defined functions, means defined by designed by owners. So this microdata is also same as such that you can define your own customized elements and start embedding custom properties in your web pages. So while we're going to a higher level, microdata consists of a name value pairs. Well, the groups are called items and each name value pair is called a property. And these are some attributes by which we create an item or a property. In next slide, there are two items, each of which has a property name. So this is a source code. Here we can see the structure of an HTML program, HTML body tag, division tag, and body closing tag, HTML closing tag, etc. Between the body tag, we can see the division of item scope, and the paragraph tag we can see span. This is an inline container for stylishing the web pages or for phrasing the content of an element. So span item property is equals to name, Zara, and span close, paragraph close. In the second line also we can see that my name is span item prop is equals to name, Nuha, and span close property close. Here, which I specified before in the before slide, item prop is an attribute used for adding a property to an item. So next, by compiling the source code, we can get this property produce of an output that is my name is Zara and my name is Nuha. Properties generally have values that are strings, but it can have following data types. Global attributes. Microdata introduces 5 global attributes which would be available for any element to use and give context for machines about your data. In the microdata, there are some 5 of the global attributes and the attributes to look after. Let us know about global attributes and description in next slide. Coming to this. There are 5 global attributes. Here you can see the attribute and the description and the use of the attribute. The 5 global attributes are item scope, item type, item ID, item prop, item preference. First of all, the description of item scope. This is used to create an item. The item scope attribute is a Boolean attribute that tells that there is a microdata on the page. This is start where it starts. Item type. This attribute is a valid URL which defines the item and provides the context for the properties. Item ID. This attribute is global identifier for the item. Item prop. This attribute defines a property of an item. Item ref. This attribute gives a list of additional elements to crawl to find the name value pairs of an item. Just said before, these global attributes would be available for any element to use and give context for machines about your data. So by using these 5 attributes, you can give a proper information about the content which you are saying to the users. Properties data types. Properties generally have values that are strings as mentioned in above example, but they can also have values that are URLs. Following example has one property image whose values URL. Here we can see, for example, you can see the anchor tag or any link. In many web pages, we can see a links, URLs. By clicking on that, you can go to the new web page, which will have the information about the URL or which will have the information about the image or anything, etc. So here in this example, we can see that div tag and item image item prop is equals to image source is equals to tp hyphen log dot gif alt is equals to tutorial spot. In this line, we can see that item property. The item property is specifying about what URL you are giving. That is it is an image. By clicking on the URL, you can go to the web page of which contains the image. Alt is an alternate message. Is not tutorials point. Next. Properties can also have values that are dates, times, or dates and date times. Dates and times. This is achieved using the time element and its data time attribute. Here in this example, we can see the HTML structure, and in between the div tag, we can see my birthday is time item prop is equals to birthday, data time is equals to 1971-05-08, August 5th, 1971, time close data, div close, body close, HTML close. So here we are using the item property attribute for specifying this is the declaration of birthday date and the data time. We are declaring the birthday date, month, and year in the reverse order. And we are also specifying in different way, that is August 5th, 1971, and it will produce the output as my birthday is colon August 5th, 1971. Properties can also themselves be proofs of name value case by putting the item scope attribute on the element that declares the property. Which I said before, item scope and item property are attributes to say about the information of different given items. Microdata API support this application interface support. If a browser supports the HTML5 microdata API, there will be a get items function on the global document object. If browser doesn't support microdata, the get items function will be undefined. So in this paragraph, I'm saying that if any browser which will support the HTML5 microdata API, there will be a get items function on the data, which will be not used in the browser if it does not support the microdata of HTML5. Here we can see function supports microdata API return documents dot get items. If the browser does not support the HTML5 microdata, it will give an error because it is undefined. The get items function is undefined because it does not support the HTML5 API. Modernizer does not yet support checking for the microdata API. So you will need to use the function like the one listed above. So to know if before the browser is supporting or not, you have to use the above function. The HTML5 microdata standard includes both HTML5, HTML markup, and a set of DOM functions, primarily for search engines and primarily for browsers. DOM function is frequently used in our microdata in the components, functional components, class components, etc. You can include microdata markup in your web pages, and search engines that don't understand the microdata attributes will just ignore them. But if you need to access or manipulate microdata through the DOM, you will need to check whether the browser supports the microdata DOM API or not. Microdata vocabulary. To define microdata vocabulary, you need a namespace URL which points to a working web page. For example, https://datavocabulary.org.person can be is an URL can be used as the namespace for a personal microdata vocabulary with the following named properties such as name, photo, URL. Name, person name as a simple string. Photo, a URL to a picture of a person. URL, website belonging to the person. These are the descriptions of the microdata vocabulary. Next, using about properties, a person microdata could be as follows. Here I will look about the source code HTML structure, that is HTML body div item scope section item scope item type is equals to a URL h1 item prop is equals to name, a given name is given, and the save. We just have a look of it. Here is specifying that item property as a photo, and we are giving the source, that is URL. By clicking on that URL in the web page, you can directly go to the photo of a person. Here in the third one, we are just giving href, means the reference has an hash, which means by clicking on that, we can't go to any page, but it will create a link to it. It will produce the following result as is. Gopal K. Verma, which we are giving in the first one, that is name, and second one is a tutorial point, which are giving the photo, and third one is a site, which I said before, that is a link. Google supports microdata as a part of their rich snippets program. When Google's web crawler processes your page and finds microdata properties that confirm through the HTTP, suppose any URL vocabulary, it passes out those properties and stores them alongside the rest of the page data. So once recall all the contents of the slides. What is microdata? Uses global attributes, properties, and API support. Here we can see the definition of the microdata, and we can see the items properties, and we can see the new attributes, that is item scope and item prop. This is source code. As the global attributes are 5 attributes, that is item scope, item type, item item ID, item prop, item pref, and property data types. And here you can see the microdata API application interface support. This is the microdata vocabulary and the Google supports. Thank you friends for watching this video, and I hope my lecture is useful to you. Thank you.